This is the Eastern Shore High School Football Preview Show.
Another Friday night of high school football here on UTV 44, the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers game of the week, and a rivalry. You know, we went for a while seeing these teams, Dan, and we'd see them in the playoffs. UMS and Thomasville, a couple of unbeaten teams in the region, getting together for our matchup here tonight. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, about 30 minutes from kickoff here, and looking forward to seeing this because it's been a while since we've got to see this matchup. Of course, we love Terry Curtis. Jack Hankins has always been so great to us up in Thomasville. Looking forward to this one, too.
Well, Jack owes us because we did the state championship game when they won it.
Right.
So he's always going to...
And gave us no credit. No credit for the victory at all.
Yeah, it was a special place in Jack's heart for that. It'll be good to see him again. Of course, watching the UMS team is always a lot of fun because under Coach Curtis and the great staff that he has, you have an idea what you're going to get. You don't know exactly what you're going to get in play calling or schemes necessarily, but you know you're going to get teams that are coached well and teams that take every bit of advantage of what they can, and usually a block or two on special teams or a return. They beat you in every way possible, and I think this UMS team is one of those teams that's one of the better that they've had. And of course, when you look at the legacy of UMS and what they've done under Terry, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, ranked #1 in the state, and for a reason, for sure. Hey, let's go back last week. We always review the games that we had. The game that we had last week, Blount and McGill. I mean, we were so excited going into it because we really thought this was going to be a great game. It didn't let us down in any form or fashion.
No, and again, Lev Holly over at Blount High School has done a great job of galvanizing that whole situation over there, and really they're just playing at an optimum, rate of efficiency for a big, strong, talented team. They got a lot of moving pieces that are all moving in the right direction. And as far as McGill, they're back to being very much academy-like. They just don't hurt themselves. They've got enough good, strong people in the middle of the line to fend off people and protect and run block, and a swarming defense as always. They're fun to watch too. And it was really great to watch a couple of teams that, have got contrasting styles, both undefeated going in, and then the game actually did deliver.
Yeah, it was a great game, great win for the Blount Leopards. Yeah. And they're believing out there in 8 Mile, and they've got every reason to be doing so. We are here at Eastern Shore Hyundai tonight, Dan Brennan, because we're helping to give away some money, as we always do.
Yeah, Sean Esfahani Group. Of course, they've got Toyota right behind us, Eastern Shore Toyota, and here at the Hyundai store as well. They combine and pool their resources and do it in a very good way because they give away $20,000 in all to high school teams and football programs in the listening area, those that are on the UTV 44 game of the week, and it starts at $12 grand. That's a good place to start. $12,000 for the first place winner that's showing the most spirit. Then you go down to second place, which is $4,000. Third and fourth, split four, each getting $2,000. You can ask any coach, any principal, headmaster, athletic director, they'll tell you that's well worth it. And we have really enjoyed our chances to broadcast from the Sean Esfahani stores here on the Eastern Shore.
We'll have Terry Curtis joining us in a second, and it's always fun. If we think about when we started doing this 15 years ago, there was one coach who saw, I think, before everybody else, what football on TV could be, high school football. I mean, TC was the early adapter without question.
They weren't all.
Yeah.
There were some people that ended up on the dinghies. They floated away. But Coach Curtis did have a quick understanding, and as an athletic director too, and a guy that's been coaching young guys in this area forever, he saw how the promotion of these guys could really be strong on so many levels. So we appreciate him a lot.
We'll talk with Terry coming up after this. Again, Coach Thomasville coach Jack Hankins didn't make the long drive down here. That was an excused absence. So we've got extra TC tonight, which we always love. Terry Curtis coming up after this as we get ready for the Bulldogs tonight, taking on the Thomasville Tigers right here on UTV 44. Crimson and Gray and Go Dogs. That kind of doesn't work for the Saturday afternoon matchup this weekend, does
No,
it?
not necessarily.
That doesn't go together like that. But anyway, we're getting ready for our matchup tonight. Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. UMS Wright Bulldogs taking on Thomasville at Cooper Stadium. And we're excited. Of course, Terry Curtis, head coach of the Bulldogs, here with us again this season. Grant Barber, wide receiver for the Bulldogs. We'll talk about that in a second. TC off to a great start, undefeated, ranked #1 in the state. And you knew this game was going to be a test when you got to this point of the season.
Well, no doubt. Yeah, Thomasville always a big game for us. I was thinking about it earlier in the week, and outside of a couple of years, the whole 17 years that I've been at UMS, we've played. So, it's a pretty good little rivalry, and we like going up there. They like coming down here, and we always get their best shot. And they probably got a little extra incentive this year with we didn't have any choice, so they're homecoming. You never want to be anybody's homecoming. So I'm sure Jack's using that this week to his advantage. But it is what it is, and we'll be ready to play. And our guys have played every week the way they needed to, and I don't think they will disappoint this week.
Yeah, we don't either. We're really excited to be on campus this Friday night. Yeah, the one thing about Thomasville that is interesting is there are schools that will come and visit UMS, maybe because they're new to the region or in the playoffs, and they're like, now how the heck do you get there? You know what? Thomasville knows how to get there.
Yeah,
they know how to get right to Old Shell Road. They know right where it is because it's pretty neat that this is a long-standing rivalry since we've been covering you all.
And there's been some great games. I mean, there's some great games between the two of you.
Well, yeah, both ways. We've probably won some games we shouldn't have, and they probably won a couple that they shouldn't have. So, it's that kind of game. And they've got a good team this year. They're 3-0, and the only team they lost to was Saraland, and we know about Saraland and what they've got, and a very good Demopolis team who's been ranked all year. So they've lost to some good football teams and beat the ones they should have. So it'll be a good test for us.
I don't think we can ever not think about Ray putting on the Bulldog helmet for the pregame show. Remember the monsoon rainstorm at the home game the one time? It was just it poured all night. And who was the?
That's what we did the game day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was.
Yeah,
we sure did.
That was a fun day. Grant Barber, you got a talented wide receiver. Tell us about the young man you brought.
Grant's had a great year. He's committed in baseball to Mississippi College, and that's what he's going to do when he graduates. But thank goodness he's playing football, and a great route runner, knows how to run routes, knows the offense probably about as well as I do, and he's usually open when we throw it to him. And I think he's got 4 or 5 touchdowns, a couple punt returns for touchdowns, and so when you do all that, he returns kickoffs, punts, and plays wide receiver. So he's a big part of what we do in trying to score points.
No offense to this young man, but we've seen this before from your team. Talk about your role on UMS, right, and what it means to you now as you kind of wind down your career and have a chance to play such a significant role in the offense.
Yes, sir. Like my freshman, sophomore year, I kind of played a little bit here and there, and I got this chance to start receiver last year, which was a big part. But even this year, adding on to that, as Coach said, I'm returning punts and kickoffs. So not only do I have to worry about the offensive side, but also special teams are a big role that I like to play in the game.
Talk about the matchup with Thomasville as we've talked about a big rivalry game for you this week.
Well, just like every year, they're going to have a bunch of athletes. They got a good quarterback and a bunch of athletes in the secondary. But we have a good game plan against them, and I feel like we'll execute it and do our jobs.
You've got to love just a kid. He's going to play baseball, but still wants to go out and he's not that I'm just going to play one sport. I'm going to focus on one thing. He's like, no, I'm going to play football and be part of the team, and I'm going to be a heck of a contributor.
Well, that's a big part of UMS, right? All our co-curriculars, you have to do at least 2. I don't care who you are or what your interests are. You've got to do 2 different things. And where Grant's playing football and baseball, other ones do football and track, or some of them are into play basketball or football, and the cheerleaders are cheerleaders and then do something else also. A lot of them are tracksters, but it's a neat deal in that, excuse me, we like to share athletes, but we also want them to do as much as they can handle, and it's just fun to watch them, and especially the ones who are good athletes. You need them to do more than one, and our school's always been big on that, and it's a neat deal.
We talk about this, Terry, and I from your perspective as a head coach, you don't see it like we do from our loft in the press box, because these are the kids right here that just a few years ago, they were playing on the other side of the press box, right? They're little bulldogs. They're throwing the ball around in the parking lot, and they're getting excited, but they're not so focused on the game because they're just little guys.
Well,
next thing you know, he's on the field.
And that's what's been neat. You know, I'd been at Murphy or Shaw, and or BC Rain, all of them high school. But now, like Grant, I mean, I've watched these guys grow up. I mean, they were 2 and 3 years old hanging around there. His daddy's the principal of the upper school, and all these girls and everybody, I mean, they started in kindergarten, and to watch them now, here they are seniors, man, where is time gone?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's really neat, just to watch them all grow up, and some of them become athletes, and some of them do other things.
I mean, how many? I mean, we'll wrap it up. We got kids that we were calling their games now are coaches, assistant coaches, part of the team. I mean, you know, part of other schools' coaching rosters.
Oh, yeah.
It's been great. We've been doing it that.
Ball boys and everything else.
Yeah, I run into people who are at Chamber of Commerce mixers, and they're executives with companies now.
Yeah.
You know, we saw them play.
Yep. All right, Coach, stick around. Grant, great to meet you. Good luck out there tonight. When we come back, we'll talk more Bulldog football, UMS and Thomasville here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week on UTV 44. About 20 minutes away from kickoff tonight here in the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week on UTV 44. Still with Coach Terry Curtis, UMS Wright Bulldogs, Johnny Thornton, DB, talking about the game here tonight. Again, usually we'd have the other coach on. Jack Hankins unable to make the drive down as we recorded the show.
Last time we had a talk with Jack Hankins, it was at midfield at Auburn, Jordan Hare Stadium, as his team prepared to win their last state title that they won. And we were talking to Jack, and it was almost like, so we're just kind of like, you know, socializing. And
as we're known to do.
And he almost missed like a referee meeting because he was talking with us.
That's
and
right, I forgot about
They were
that.
getting a little agitated with
They're like, hey, Coach Hankins.
the pin-headed broadcasters. Because we were like, hey, they're not going anywhere. I got a story to tell you. You know?
That was fun. We were happy to see Thomasville win that.
Yeah, they were great.
Win that game. Talking more about the matchup. You said, you know, usually you see Thomasville come in town. They've got some athletes and some places on the field. No different in this year's team, is it?
No, they, you know, they're always well coached. They have changed a little bit. You know, they were just mainly a wing T team, and they are spreading it out a little bit and using the quarterback to run more and throwing the ball on some quick stuff a little bit more than they have. So they are a little bit different than what they've been in the past. They're not just a true wing T, run it every down, and you know, kind of when you throw it, it's a surprise. They're mixing it up a little bit more. So
do you think part of it, because it's just tougher as football continues to evolve at all levels, to just run it? Do you think that's part of the reason why?
Well, I don't know. They were good at it. You know, so there's probably another reason they're doing it. Number one, they got a quarterback who can do those kind of things, and they're using his talents, and that's a good thing. So they spread you out, but they still, you can tell, want to run the football. So that hadn't changed. They're just doing it from some different formations and so forth, and what they've done, which they've done a good job with.
And in those one town, one school sort of situations, you know, what's great about those situations, Terry, you can talk about this a little bit. It's similar for you, but the talent's going to kind of ebb and flow in terms of the how great the team is going to be. But you get a hold of these guys when they're middle school. You're able to coach kids. They understand the system, so even though if your talent's not as good as it was a year or 2 years ago, everybody's on the same page.
Well, you can tell they have a very good youth program, because you see these kids come up. A lot of them play young. They play when they're in the 9th grade, and you know, and move on up in the 10th grade. So you can tell even in the younger age groups in youth football that they're doing what the varsity's doing, and that's a good thing. And that's why you don't see many bad years with Thomasville.
Exactly.
Like you do. The ones that are usually have a great year, and then you don't hear about them for 3 or 4 years. They're the ones that usually don't have a youth program.
Right.
Ended up with a bunch of good players one year.
Exactly. They all kind of, all of a sudden, ooh, we got a good group this year. But then they fall off the map again. That's why you haven't seen that happen with Thomasville. Which is credit to Jack and those guys up there, because, I mean, you've been to their stadium. It's a great high school stadium.
They shut the town down on Friday.
They shut it down. They fill it up. And that's really been fun going to those kind of places. and play. And so it's been fun for us to play on the road.
Yeah.
In those kind of places. There in Jackson and Grove Hill, all those teams up
Demopolis.
43, Demopolis
Yep.
and Andalusia and all those up through there. So we enjoy, you know, taking our show, sort of say, on the road.
Yeah, I'm not sure everybody enjoys always coming down to Old Shell Road because not many teams usually leave there with a victory. Johnny Thornton, defensive back. What have you seen as you look at this Thomasville team getting ready for the matchup tonight?
I see a team with a really good quarterback. They got a good running back, number 6, that we have to really key in on. I think the key to the game, though, is going to be stopping that quarterback. I think he's probably the best player on the team.
Johnny, what's your role going to be? Because this guy can also pull it down, right? He can
Right.
run it too. As a cornerback, that kind of leaves you on an island of decision that
Yes,
maybe
sir.
you wish you weren't on, but there's times when you're going to have to come up and make that play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know, just play about here, I guess. Get back in my coverages, and you know, I can't leave my coverage until he comes past the line of scrimmage.
Right,
so,
right.
I mean, when he comes past the line of scrimmage, I got to do my job and come up and make the tackle.
Yeah, another guy you're going to be counting on tonight for the game, right back here.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like he's saying, the guy scrambles, but a lot of times when he's scrambling around, he's still looking down the field. He's not one that gets flustered and all of a sudden just puts it under his arm and goes run it. He's still looking down. So our guys we've got to contain him, and we've got to stay in our coverage until he does pass the line of scrimmage, and then we got to tackle it. And that's going to be what I think is the key. Is going to be how we tackle in space, because they're going to be out in space and put us in some situations 1-on-1 or 1-on-2, and we've got to make tackles. And, you know, we've been pretty good at that so far. Probably the only quarterback we played close to what this guy can do is the one from McGill, who was a
Paris
lot
Chambers,
like that.
yeah.
And we did pretty good against Paris, and he didn't make any big, long runs, and that's what we've got to do tonight. We've got to contain him. We've got to play for another play. We can't give him a 70-yard run or an 80-yard pass or that sort of thing. We've got to play for another play. They're going to have some plays where they maybe gain 10 or 12 yards, but we got to get them on the ground.
All right, we've talked a lot about Thomas, but we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Bulldogs offensively. Great start. Johnny, thanks for joining us. TC, stay here. We'll come back and wrap it up. About 10 minutes away from kickoff tonight, it's UMS and Thomasville on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week.
You're holding up, huh?
Oh, good job.
Black.
Homecoming week here at UMS. Everybody's getting excited on Old Shell Road for the matchup tonight. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Coach Terry Curtis, UMS and Thomasville. So we've talked a lot about the weapons that Thomasville has, and you know, you are kind of the home team. We're remiss if we don't talk. You've got it going on offense as well, and we're going to see something we haven't seen in a while at UMS.
Well, we're moving the ball around pretty well, and playing a little bit more gun than we've played in the past, and playing with 3 wide outs a little bit more than we have in the past. We will still get under center and those sort of things, but it was kind of like I was talking about Jack and Thomasville. We're kind of doing the same thing with our quarterback. Tanner Allen can really run, probably the fastest guy on our football team. And so we're putting him in some situations where we're letting him keep the football, and we've got a bigger running back this year. Michael Matthews is about 200 pounds and really a tough runner. And, you know, we've worried about our offensive line and all, but yet they're coming together, and we've only got, one senior up front. So that's a good thing, and they're playing better every week. And our defense, we thought was going to be our strong point, and they're really getting after people. I mean, we're still probably a little undersized, and we really was happy about our defensive line, but since the season started, we've got 2 of those guys out. So thank goodness we had a little bit of depth there. So, you know, that's a concern with some new guys playing there, but they're playing well together. They're staying at home, and we're not giving up any big plays.
And I bet they're getting
we're
better
doing
every
things.
week, aren't they?
And they're playing better and better, and we're having some guys step in where when these other guys get back, it's only going to give you a little bit more depth. So
That doesn't happen a lot at 4A, does it? And by the way, I can also see there's always effort on the field, in the classroom. And now at UMS, right, as I look over the roster, there's effort at the pregame meal. You finally got some girth up there, man.
Well, we've got a couple guys.
Yeah.
That got a little, well, really 3 of them.
Yeah.
Got some good size, and
Yeah.
some other young guys that are going to get bigger as they get a little older. So that always helps. And I've been real proud of our offensive line. You know, I call them a bunch of Mama's Boys earlier in the season. They got mad about that, but I'm
That
kind
was
of
the
having
point,
to change
right?
my tune, and it worked out because they are getting a little tougher and throwing people around a little more.
Here's the guy who's publicly called us Mama's Boys.
Yes, no doubt.
Not
And
a
that's
thing
when
we
he's-
could do about
And that's
it.
when he was speaking, nicely about us when he said that. All right, our dumb questions to wrap up the show, TC. I know you're always
Lord.
all summer. They're not as, you don't yell at quarterbacks like you used to, and the questions aren't as dumb as they used to be. We're all getting older.
I'm not sure about that.
All right, favorite hobby. Favorite hobby.
Golf.
Golf. All right, golf. You take a little money on the course once in a while, I bet, don't you? I bet you
Well-
take $1 or two. Yeah. How about you?
I could have said something else.
Speaking of taking money. Speaking of taking money. All right. All right. Do you sing karaoke? And I'm pretty sure I have seen you sing karaoke. And if you do, what's your go-to song?
You're not gonna like it.
No, I'm not.
No, my go-to song, Rocky Top.
Okay, doesn't
Whenever
bother
I'm in town, I
me.
go to Rocky Top.
That is funny.
There are a lot of other people. A lot of people that are big Terry Curtis fans not a fan of the Rocky Top
No, I
song.
know
I'm just
that.
saying. Just
But
saying
that,
that.
I can get everybody going when everybody likes that song.
All right. I'm gonna start with you wouldn't be caught dead where, Dan Brennan?
Wow. How many people can I make mad today? Let's just say as a member of a terrorist gang. How about that?
How about you? You wouldn't be caught dead where?
I have no idea. I'm not gonna answer that question.
It is kind of a loaded.
Curtis
loaded
got
question.
his lawyer on the phone.
I'm not gonna answer that
All
question.
right. Do you have something of sentimental value? What's your most sentimental value thing you have?
Wow. Probably my wedding ring.
Good answer. Good answer. No need to call a lawyer on that one. Sentimental value?
Well, we got a lot of great stuff at home. The kids were growing up. That's all kinds of good
Cool.
stuff.
Kickoff comes up next. It's UMS right in Thomasville, Green and Phillips.